Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, so we have our animal oracle cards, and we're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with, what you may need to look at, and possible future energies. All right, so what you may possibly be struggling with is skunk spirit, knowing your worth. Also, be fearless and bold, okay? What you may possibly need to look at is pig spirit, use your mind wisely. And then possible future energies is overcoming any obstacle. Bottom of the deck, we have white raven spirit, trust in the magic. Trusting and believing that things will get better, that you will work through things, that things will happen for you, that things will manifest for you. That's the energy that you have to keep yourself in order to have things come in for you. All right, so what you may possibly be struggling with is we have be fearless and bold and know your worth. So I feel like you're struggling with making a tough decision and knowing that it's a decision that you need to make for yourself. Sometimes we accept situations or people that are around us that are really not the best for us, right? That we're not putting ourselves in situations that are the best for us, that we need to kind of bite the bullet and make that tough decision. So I feel like you're struggling with some sort of decision. What you need to look at is using your mind wisely. Is that okay? That if you're feeling uncomfortable or you've tried to remove yourself from the situation or move on from the situation and that didn't work, how can you approach it in a different perspective or a different view? Or if you haven't faced it yet, okay, using your mind wisely and say, how can I approach this? How can I make this work for everybody, right? Because if you're feeling uncomfortable and you're not doing something, then obviously something's not feeling right to you. So is there a sort of a compromise, or is there a kind of a different way or view or perspective that you can do to handle the situation and see it differently? It's almost like I'm kind of seeing the hangman card there, is that different perspective. Future energy is overcoming any obstacles. So I feel like you're definitely going to be able to overcome this obstacle, this challenge, and maybe that's what this is about, is you learning how to handle things a different way, right? From a different perspective, or a different, maybe before you used to handle things, or you may used to accept things before, but now you're like, no, I want to stand up for myself, right? I know my worth. I know that I deserve better. I know that I have to handle this. I have to deal with this, and I don't want to keep myself in this energy that I have to make these changes. And I've learned that, okay, I can overcome it. I can deal with it. Whatever heads my way, I'll figure out a way. All right, so let's grab the Green Witch Tarot. So what is Capricorn possibly struggling with? What is Capricorn possibly struggling with? We have the Standing Stone, number 11, which is justice, feeling like things aren't happening for you. We have Harvest, number 20, which is judgment, opening your eyes, awakening, renewal, right? That's what the judgment card is, seeing things from a different perspective, or hearing those messages, right? Because there's usually an image with blowing a horn, right, to people or images down below, and it's kind of, are you hearing the message? Are you seeing things, right? Open your eyes to something. Seven of Swords. I feel like this Seven of Swords is where he's coming home from the hunt and he sees the skunk and he's being distracted, and she's standing there with her arms crossed, and he's just not kind of interested, right? He's just not. I feel like it's kind of, you're struggling with, okay, it's something that maybe you're not interested in, or you're just not, you've been avoiding, or you don't want to deal with it. But I feel like it's kind of being more aware of what is your happiness, knowing your worth, knowing that, are you in a situation where you're not really into it, and is that something that you need to handle? Is that something that you need to deal with, right? Or is there something that you're waiting for and it's not happening, so you're starting to lose interest, that you're starting to, almost losing that confidence in yourself, because it says be fearless and bold. And are you losing your confidence because things haven't happened the way that you thought they were going to happen? So you're losing that confidence. All right, we have use your mind wisely, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. So that's, I feel like it's getting down to it, getting to work, right? Because he's standing there and he's making the pentacles, and he's been doing it for a while, and he has all these on his wall. I feel like using your mind wisely, how can you see it from a different perspective? How can you change things up? Getting to work and making things happen, right? Three of Wands is actually like taking that chance, making the effort. Four of Pentacles, we have the person is at the door and he's rearranging. I feel like you're finally getting into moving things around, because we have the shadow where the pentacle used to be and he's putting them over here. I feel like you're finally moving forward, but just make sure that you don't get hung up by this person in the door or whatever that represents for you. I almost feel like it's, you start to make a movement, but then you're like, nope, then you kind of lose that confidence and you back away from it. Future energies, we have number one, the Witch, which says the Magician, which is you can make anything happen. You have the power to make the changes, not giving that to someone else, right? That you have that power. Don't forget that it's in your hands. King of Cups, what are those things that you need to let go of to have your harvest, to have your feast? What works for you? And I also feel like that overcoming any obstacle is that you're really proud of yourself and you feel those rewards of that hard work and this work that you've done over here, you feel that. Nine of Pentacles, again, is those rewards and that happiness for having faced a situation and knowing your worth and being bold and fearless and being confident, right? We have the Seven of Cups, new ideas, new opportunities, right? New things to think about. How do we handle this? I feel like this is kind of that idea of back here where if it didn't work approaching this in one way, how do you change it up this way? What's a different way for you to do this? What's a different way for you to handle it? That if it wasn't working before, what's a different way that you can deal with it or handle it? All right, so let's grab some cards here. Let's get another final message. Sometimes I think that that's the hardest thing to do, is to be able to step back and say, well, this is how I always handled it. This is how it always went. But to be able to step back and see things from a different perspective and say, okay, it didn't work. It's not working that way anymore. How can I change that up, right? The Five of Pentacles, this is just a temporary hardship. This is just temporary. Because I feel like if you want to change it and have this resolution and overcome an obstacle, that if you put your mind to it, you can do it, right? Four of Swords, maybe it's step away, take a break. Sometimes when we're so involved in something and we're so surrounding ourselves by it, we're not really able to see the answers, as we need to step back from it and look back in and see things from a different perspective. I also feel that, you know, for me, a lot of times when I'm driving out to the barn, it's about a 35-minute ride, that as I'm sitting in the car, I'm able to come up with some solutions. And because I'm by myself, I'm in the car, I'm driving, and I'm able to kind of think differently, or things start to come to me. Sometimes when I wake up really early in the morning too, like at 4 or 5 in the morning, to me that's really early, and sometimes those things will just come to me and it's like, that's what I need to do, that's what I have to do, that's what I have to look at, that's how I need to see it, right? We have King of Wands, learning from the past. I just feel like King of Wands is somebody who's very wise, somebody who, but he also has the Wands, which is taking actions, right? We have the Five of Cups. Definitely there's some frustration, but I always feel that with this Five of Wands cups, is right in front of him is the 3 spilt cups, but there's 2 cups right behind. And it's just like, if you just change things up just a little, sometimes, right, using your mind wisely, how can I tweak this just a little, that you're able to see these 2 cups and you're able to see the opportunities. We have the Knight of Cups, and he's ready to charge forward, right? The horse is rearing up, he's got his cup up in the air, he's ready for these new emotions, these new feelings, and I feel like that goes with the 3 of Wands, is ready to take action, right? ready to take actions. I love it. The Magician again, right? It's all in your power. All of this is in your power. All of this is in your hands. Don't forget that. To remind yourself that it's up to you to make the changes, right? If you need to stop this energy, whatever this person in the window represents, if you need to take some time to yourself, if you need to rearrange things, if you need to back away a little bit from someone or something, that's what you need to do. It's up to you, that you have to make those changes. We have the Fool card, which is taking that leap of faith, being foolish, having a new beginning, having new starts, looking at it from a different perspective. Then we have the Judgment card. And we have the Judgment over here, where I was saying, like I said, usually with someone with that horn, blowing that horn, is that awakening, that renewal, that revival. So over here, you're struggling with it, which I love that. And over here in the future energy, you're realizing it. You're having this new beginning. You're having this new start. You're having your feast. Like I said before, the Three of Swords always needs to come out, I feel, for Capricorn lately. Before, for those of you who have hung in there with me and been with me over time, that it used to be the Queen of Wands. She used to come out a lot. Now I feel like this Three of Swords is coming out. But like I've said, I don't know, was it this reading or the other reading, that I feel like Capricorn always has those challenges, right? That it seems like things move forward and then it's like kind of falling back into this Three of Swords energy. So I just feel like this is kind of something for you to look out for, is to make sure that if you have this energy that comes back in for you, that you acknowledge it, but then you acknowledge it, you see it, but then you say, okay, don't want to fall back into this energy and put myself back in the beginning. That I don't want to be stuck in that, because I feel like it's almost like testing you to see, okay, how strong are you? How much do you want to have these changes? And I almost feel like, because the Capricorn card is the Devil, I feel like it's sort of that energy always tries to come in to challenge Capricorn. And I feel like that's always something that Capricorn has to deal with, is that those challenges, and to not let that stop you for those goals that you want to reach. We have the Star card, Aquarius, which is keeping that faith, keeping that hope, keeping that direction, right? That guidance, believing in that, focusing on the positive, overcoming the obstacles, believing in yourself, trusting in the magic, that things will happen for you, that things will manifest for you. Even though there's this Three of Swords here that's trying to get in the way, you know, it's almost like you're seeing that, okay, yeah, I see all of these beautiful cards here for this future energy, but look, this Three of Swords is trying to get in the way, but you see it, you acknowledge, and you say, no, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that get in my way, right? I have the power to choose that direction that I want to go in, so that this doesn't become overwhelming. That's how you have to see it when those energy or those challenges come in. It's like, okay, I see you, but you're not going to take control of this. All right, so we had this card which flipped out, and we have negativity. I feel like, again, I see you. I see that there's negativity, right, with this Three of Swords. Seeing that there is that challenge there, but it's like, how do you handle it? How do you move past it? How do you deal with it? Do you let it take control of you, and do you fall into that negativity trap, or do you say, okay, I see you and I'm going to change that? How do I change that? I know my worth. I'm going to use my mind wisely, that if the way I was doing it before wasn't working, I'm going to find a new way. But just being aware of that negativity if that tries to come in to squash everything, right? And that could also represent this energy at the door, is that negativity. All right, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.